Thank you for listening to When Everything Cracks, a memoir of old San Francisco and the mental health system of yore. This is the chapter where I really come unglued. Chapter 4, The Idea. I wake up with a jolt. Was there an earthquake? I hear a ringing in my ear now. It sounds like the public address system at my elementary school. I'm waiting for the omnipotent principal to give me instructions. It goes away. What is that noise trying to tell me? It must mean something. There's a phone bill in the mailbox. I want to pay it. There's about $200 in calls to Hawaii. How am I going to pay for it? I told Donnie I wouldn't, so why am I changing my mind? Fuck it. I won't pay the phone company. The phone still works. I lie down on the floor and look at the ceiling. I'm seeing patterns. Weird. Maybe it's an acid flashback. Donnie says he always gets them when he's tired, but I'm not tired. I feel more than awake. Suddenly I get an idea. It's about photography. David Hockney used to take multiple Polaroids of swimming pools and reassemble them like a jigsaw puzzle and then paint them. I want to do photographs like that and make collages. The collages will be taken in a circle instead of a square, and the result will be a mandala. It's going to be so beautiful. I'll color Xerox them and sell them. That's how I'll make money. I need a camera. I have about $65 left. That should be enough for a camera. I'm super excited now. I've never been artistically inspired like this. I usually feel like I can't draw or paint or even take pictures, but this is a gimmick. It's going to sell. I think that's what the ringing sound in my ears meant. They sell Polaroids at Walgreens. But let's think about this. I don't want white borders on my photographs. I want the picture to go right to the edge of the paper. And the last time I tried to cut a Polaroid, it bled all over the place with some hideous, toxic goo. So no Polaroids. I need an Instamatic camera. This is going to be great. I'll do portraits. They'll be so beautiful. Even the president will want one. I'll make a fortune. This is a superb idea. I've got a plan for the tripod I'll use too. I'll mount the camera on a wheel, rotate the reel a notch, take a picture, and then rotate it again. And the camera will rotate twice. Once near the center of the axis and once out on the edge of the giant wheel. I need a bicycle wheel or something to mount the camera on. I'll do my first few by hand. They should work okay. The giant wheel, that's Earth, too, and life on this planet, karma. It all is starting to make a lot of sense now. I understand why Mom lives on a Buddhist commune now. Outside the streets sound like a washing machine on a spin cycle. I want to get some portraits made before the idea is gone. The clerk at Walgreens is too slow. No, I don't want a disposable camera. I want a permanent one. Yes, that one, and some indoor film. Indoor, yeah, that's it. Thank you. I forget my change. I don't care. Back at home, Donnie is finally up. He's sitting in the kitchen drinking a cup of coffee. Hold it right there. Can I take your portrait? He shrugs. What are you doing, Dunk? Why is the camera upside down? Hold still. It's a cool idea I had. Okay, there. I want my photos developed in an hour. The Vietnamese coffee shop has a Xerox shop and a 1-hour film processor. I can have a cup of coffee while I wait. Whenever the owner says something loud to his little girl in the back, I think he's calling my name. I come to the counter to get the photos and he says, not yet. Why did he call my name? Weird. This is starting to irritate me. I go home after my cup of coffee and get Donnie. He can tell me when they call my name. Donnie doesn't want to go. I drag him with me. He rolls his eyes. The photos are ready. I get a piece of paper from the owner. Donnie doesn't get it. I show him. See? I'm assembling it. It isn't working too well, but see, that's the idea. Donnie shrugs. He wants a job. I tell him he has to get a job at a 1-hour processing place so I can get it done for free. He looks at me in an odd way and asks me if I'm all right. Fine, fuck you. I scream it at him. I run as fast as I can away from him, crying. How am I going to do my art? I walk down 8th Street to the new stud location. Lola pulls up in her car with a friend. How you doing? Great, look at my art. I got this great new idea and I'm going to make $1 million. She scrutinizes it and says, great. She asks me if I'm okay. Yeah, of course. I'm on my way to the stud to show them. Gotta run. Bye. The stud. They're all there, volunteering. I show Brian Egg my art project. All he asks is, where have I been? I won't have a job if I don't start showing up to help with the move. He just doesn't get it. None of them get it. Fuck them all. I run out of there. They don't understand me. They still think I'm 21, not 19. They don't actually know me. Brian Egg runs out after me and calls my name. He waves me over and I approach him. He has the longest hair I've ever seen. He is a genuine hippie fag. There aren't too many of them left now. It's the 80s and they all bought cars. Let me see that again. He points to my beautiful mandala. It's a mandala of Donnie. He takes it out of my hands and stares at it. He nods his approval and hands it back to me. Do you see the world like that? He reaches into his pocket and takes out a packet of zigzags while he waits for my response. Yeah, I guess so. It's fractured. He wields a little baggie full of green bud right here in the middle of the sidewalk and pours some pot into the paper. Brian, what if someone sees you? I'm invisible. How? Stand a little closer. You'll be invisible too. He pulls me a little closer to him. He rolls the joint adeptly, generously. It's beautiful. He lights it and takes a long, cross-eyed toke before handing it to me. It's so strong that I cough and my eyes immediately get that smoky haze around the edges. I say, oh, that's some shit. It's not shit. Brian is going off like he always does. I am plucked. Plucked, you hear me? I back away from him. He is scary, but I'm not afraid of him. He reminds me of my mother. Donnie says we look related. What are you plucked about? You come around here while we're all mopping the floors and making this place... He gestures wildly with his hand and pauses. We're making this place beautiful. Beautiful, and you're just sitting around taking pictures. I don't think he gets how important this all is. Brian, I gotta go. Go. Just go. We're all working our asses off here, but just go. Sue understands me. I bet she's home. She doesn't work right now. I have a lot of energy. I walk to the Castro to find her. She's at the cafe floor. I sit down and laugh with her. I tell her about Brian, and she says he's always plucked. She says he's always madder than a wet hen, too. I show her my art project, and she says she has some good paper we could use to mount it on so it doesn't get all bent up. I knew she'd understand. We giggle and run to her house to smoke some of Dennis Peron's weed that she just scored. I sit in a weird bubble after I have the pot. There's a hollow crashing sound in my ears, like when you listen for the waves in a seashell. I start thinking about pot and why it's illegal. I don't think it should be. Neither does Sue, and neither does Dennis. Dennis is a crusader for the pot cause. I want to help him. I'm going to the library tomorrow to do some research. Donnie calls and talks to Sue for a while before she hands the phone to me. He says, where did I go? He's sorry. He's not sure what he did, but he's sorry anyway. I say, I'm sorry too, and we'll talk. He asks me to hand the phone back to Sue. She talks real quiet, so I can't hear. She puts the phone down and asks me if I've been eating too much pizza. Why? Well, she says, pizza has flour and tomatoes, which are bad for your brain. My brain is fine, never been better, so I must not be eating too much pizza. What a weird question. Sue just chuckles and we fire up another joint. I tell Sue about the phone bill. She looks concerned. She tells me I shouldn't mess with the phone company like that because they're really important. She's right. She says they can help me. Call them right now. So I do. This is such a good thing. The lady I talked to is sweet and kind. She says that Pacific Bell is interested in keeping its customers. We set up a payment schedule, which is impossible given that I don't have any income. She says that'll cover my local calls, but she needs to transfer me to AT&T to deal with the rest of it. AT&T. AT&T. Why does the name seem so important to me? I write it on a piece of paper. They have me on interminable hold. I get it. Isn't there a finance company called ITT? Are they related? I bet they are. And if you look at this carefully, it all makes sense. It makes sense. I know where it is at. I've solved the puzzle. I know where it's at. What does it mean to know where it's at? I've never been on hold for this long. They must know I'm working out the puzzle. Without warning, my entire life starts making glorious sense. It starts with my grandmother's maiden name, Stein. Wasn't Einstein number one, like Ein in German? And if I figure out this giant puzzle, doesn't that make me Stein number two? I'm Weistein. I'm the next genius. At just that moment I make sense of my life, the AT&T customer service lady comes on the line. She's part of the most powerful company in the world. She knows I was figuring out the puzzle. She asks me how she can help me. I tell her that I know where it's at. Oh, I see. What's my name? Weistein, I tell her. Can you spell it? ITT, I say. She says, I don't think I can help you. Let me transfer you to a supervisor. Supervisor. This is the person who sees above her, who is more powerful. I won. I won the contest to figure it out. The supervisor is going to tell me what I won. Sue is watching me from the kitchen. I can tell she's excited that I just figured it out. Her smile says it all. I finally figured it out, and now I can be an adult. I don't have to work like a dog anymore. I can get a job with the most powerful company on earth. When the supervisor comes on the line, I ask her for a job. Silence. I tell her I figured out where it is at. Okay, sir. She's laughing because she's so happy that I figured it out. Maybe I'm missing out. What would out be? One Universal Telephone and Telegraph? I ask her if there's a subsidiary by that name. She says she'll transfer me there. The phone starts beeping in my ear. It's a message. I wish I knew Morse code, but now I don't need it anymore. I can tell what the phone is saying. I've never heard like this before. It's part of my new power. It's asking me to choose a profession. Oh, great. I got the job. I press the keypad to spell out the job. 3F, 4I, 5L, 6M, 6M, 2A, 5K, 3E, 7R. Filmmaker. I want to make movies. I wait for a confirmation. The tone changes, and then the line goes silent. I guess that's it. That's it. I'll wait and hear from them later. Wait, they don't have my address. Oh, yes, they do. The Pacific Bell lady gave it to them. The Bell of Peace. Maybe that's something too, but I don't think it matters as much as where it's at. I hang up. I make a mental note to work on the Liberty Bell, Pacific Bell connection when I have some time. Sue looks at me and asks, what the heck was going on? I tell her I figured out the puzzle. She says it's because I have Mercury in Aquarius. She knew all along. Chapter 4 requires a postscript, so let me just give you some background. This is basically a step-by-step recounting of what I remember. It's true because it's what I remember. It isn't what was really happening, but it's what was going on in my mind and what I was perceiving. So maybe I was invisible.